Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is the part 2 of this particular tutorial. So I'll be showing you how to sew this particular dress. If you've not watched part 1, please go ahead and watch it, and let's get into the video. Starting with the front piece, I already placed it on my fabric, and then I went ahead to cut ½ inch at the top and ½ inch at the bottom, as we already have our sewing allowance added to the pattern paper while we were drafting. Now to the back, I already added my zipper allowance and then ½ inch at the top for the neckline. Now what we are doing right here is marking the dart lines, right? So remember that we didn't take out the dart lines on the pattern paper, as you can see. So now I'm just going to be using the pattern paper to mark on my fabric. So I'm placing my hand there, and then I'll just pin on my fabric at that exact point where my hand is, right? So after pinning, you can go ahead to use your ruler and then just rule on those lines for the two side pieces, right? So that you don't get confused. So this is what it's looking like. Also, I also got my facing for the back because I'm not making use of lining for this dress. Now moving on to the bust part of the front, right? So this is the lining piece. I went ahead to attach the padding to it so that the bust is very firm, right? And then this is the main piece. I also added facing on the fabric, which we call cloth gum here, right? So I added that to the fabric so that the fabric is a bit sturdy. Now for the sleeve, this is what the gathered puff sleeve is looking like. I have several videos on my channel, I think about 2. I'll put it in the description box of me crafting and sewing a puff sleeve, so that you guys can check that out. Now this is what the main fabric and the lining is looking like for this bust part of this dress. I went ahead to use cloth gum to open up the seam so that it is flat and there is no bulging. So this is what it's looking like, right? Then for the sleeve, I went ahead to turn it over with my lining. Now I'm just going to go ahead and sew ½ an inch at the top and ½ an inch at the bottom for my elastic band, right? So moving on to the back, right? So first I took in my darts and then I added my facing for the back before adding my zip. So take note of that. That's how it's going to be going. So your dart first, your facing, then your zip. So this is what mine is looking like. For the front piece, I added the main fabric or around the bust and then the lining together. Remember, there is no lining for this dress, so you are going to see how I'm going to sew in the lining part of the bust area, right? So you can see the way I joined them. I joined them on the neckline first, so it's remaining to join around the under bust area. So now you're going to take your fabric the way I did, and you're going to fold in the black part of the fabric in between the two bust area of the dress, right? And you're going to place them like this. It's more like placing right sides facing. It's just that the right side of the main fabric is hidden, right? So after doing that, you're just going to go ahead and sew, and this is what you're going to be having. So the seam is going to be inside, so there is no seam on the outside of the bust area, right? So it's going to be very neat. After doing that, I'm just going to be placing the front and the back piece facing each other, and then I'm just going to sew on the side. After sewing on the sides, I'll also go ahead to add my sleeve. Right here, I already did that, and I'm just fitting the dress before we move on to the bottom of the dress, and I'm loving the fit. Everything fits beautiful and nicely. Yeah, everything fits great. So now to the bottom of the dress, right? So I cut out 2 square pieces for the lower part of the dress. I'll advise you, if you are managing fabric, please cut out this part of the dress first before you cut out your sleeve or the bust area of this dress. Take note of that. I did this because I had enough fabric, so take note of that. Now for this lower part, we are going to be making use of 2 measurements, our waist measurement and the length of the flare. So the waist is more like the knee circumference. You are going to divide your waist by 3.14, which is your knee circumference. You are dividing your knee circumference by 3.14, and whatever you get, that's going to be 7. So what we have is 7. Now that we have 7 that we are going to be using for the top of the flare, now we want to determine what the length of our flare is going to be, right? To determine that, you are going to be getting the actual length that you need, which is 25 inches. Then you plus it with 7 inches. That will help you know the length of the fabric to cut before you even cut. Do you understand? So make this calculation before cutting out your fabric piece. So we have the length of 32 on our paper, and I'm just going to be placing on my fabric, and I have the length of about 33, so I'll be using the full length of 33 inches. Now we're just going to go ahead and place the 7 inches we marked earlier for the waist or the knee circumference of the flare, right? I'm just going to be placing my tape at the top, and I'll be marking 7. And then I just connected both sides. So now we have the circumference of the knee. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark 33 inches round from the top of the fabric there, right? From the tip there. So you're going to be placing your tape there, and you'll be marking the 33 inches round. Remember, I'm making use of 33 inches since I have the full length of 33. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that round. Now I'm going to go ahead and also cut the top where we marked 7 inches, and then we'll be cutting out the bottom too. And now after cutting, I have 4 pieces of this. So 4 pieces of this is what we make the 22 inches for the circumference of the knee. So I have it 4 pieces of that with my lining each, right? That will make a full skirt, full circle skirt, right? So take note of that. It's 4 pieces, not two. So 2 for the front and 2 for the back. So now for the bottom part of the dress, I just went ahead to cut a straight and a long rectangle, right? I didn't exactly measure it. I used the design as a guide, but I just cut a straight long rectangle. I think it was about the length of 12 inches or so. So take note of that. You can make it any length you want. Right here, I already joined all the circle pieces together, and now we have a full circle skirt. So I went ahead to join with the lining, and then I turned it over. Now we want to join to our fabric. Okay, so now I'm just going to place it like so. So I'm placing it this way, and then I'll turn over the flare so that it is right sides facing each other. And then I'm just going to go ahead and place them at the hem, and then I'm going to sew half an inch round the skirt. This is what the dress is looking like after joining the flare, looking all nice and neat. Now we're going to go ahead and join the gather part of the dress. So I already sewed in the top and the bottom and the side, so everywhere is neat. Now you're going to go ahead and gather one part of the rectangular piece. Now you place on your waist. Right here I marked my hip, but I went up to around 20 or 18 inches. I'll show you guys also. Now you're now going to place your gathered and sew like so. Just the way I'm placing it, you're going to place it in a curved like manner. Right here I already gathered it, and I'm showing you guys what it's looking like again. So you are going to be placing it at your waist. Please take note of that, from your waist, not your hips. So we have around 21 inches here, but you can go up to 18 or 20 inches, 18, 19 or 20 inches. So you're just going to be placing it that way, and then you will sew down to the opposite end in a curved like manner. So take note of that. So when you are sewing, you will be opening up your zipper allowance so that it can make it easy for you to zip, then to sew, sorry. Then after sewing, then you now flip it over, and then you have your beautiful gathers. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Please do make sure to subscribe, like and share. Bye bye.